Can I have confirmation of a quorum?
Confirmed.
Do we have any public comments?
No public comment.
Okay, so moving on, we will go to consideration and possible action on approval of the January 12th, 2026 Southwest Regional Water Authority Board meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve.
All,
Second.
yeah, okay, second, and then all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. On to item number 2, the general manager's report, starting off with the chemical optimization and financial.
So we have Jacob Laban presenting on the operational chemical optimization, and then followed by Jorge Seguin, who is going to be presenting a financial report under item 2A.
Good afternoon, Mr. President and members of the board. My name is Jacob Galan, and I'll be presenting the production and distribution report for the month ended December 31st, 2025. On tab 2 of your board binders, we have the SRWA water distribution summary and true-up estimate. On column C, we have the SRWA total distribution. The year-to-date is 637.808 million gallons for a daily average of 6.933 million gallons. On column F, we have the distribution for BPUV. The year-to-date is 601.981 million gallons for a daily average of 6.543 million gallons. On column G, we have the distribution for value mud number 2. The year-to-date is 16.234 million gallons for a daily average of 0.176 million gallons. On column H, we have the distribution for Los Fresnos. The year-to-date is 4.923 million gallons for a daily average of 0.054 million gallons. On column I, we have the credit for B&D. The year-to-date is 13.394 million gallons for a daily average of 0.146 million gallons. On column J, we have the allocation for Indian Lake. The year-to-date is 1.276 million gallons for a daily average of 0.014 million gallons. Below, we have the true-up estimate where BPV is over by 9.39 million gallons. Value mud number 2 is over by 0.23 million gallons. And the city of Los Fresnos is under by 9.62 million gallons. On the next page, we have production distribution report for the month of December. On the column, third column from the left, we have the SRWA total water produced. The total for the month was 210.604 million gallons for a daily average of 6.794 million gallons. On the column on the far right, we have the total water distributed. The total for the month was 207.468 million gallons for a daily average of 6.693 million gallons. Below, we have the chemical consumption costs. The total for the month was $108,928.11. And below that, we have the electrical consumption costs. And the total for the month was $99,769.08. On the next page, we have events that reduce water production. On the 10th, we were down 5 hours to repair a leak on the main raw water line running through Rancho Viejo. On the 17th, we were down 5 hours for loss of power and communication at the well field. On December 29th, we were down 15 hours to repair a caustic leak near the injection point. And on the 31st, we were down 5 hours for a chlorine solution leak also near the injection point. So we were down a total of 30 hours for December. On the next page, we have our iron, manganese, and arsenic analysis. For the month of December, we sampled on the 15th. Dosages remained the same. The blend remained at 0% for December. And all the analysis were under the MCLs.
Can we get the pH data for this when we're doing the sample? I know you guys record it, and it looks like manual on like an entry sheet.
Right, I can be running from on our instruments, and then we'll record them, we'll log them. So you want me to make a column for pH on each?
Is that wouldn't be too hard? Yeah.
No, yeah, we can do that.
We can add it for each, the raw water and the point of entry.
Is that, it turns out pH is pretty important for determining how well you remove manganese. I mean, it shouldn't be surprising, it's kind of a reaction. But there are a couple models we want to try to use to see if we can predict that better.
Okay, sure. I'll add it to for starting on the next one, on the next meeting.
Thank you.
Mhm. On the next page, we have the RO and well pump status at the time of collection, the wells that were on and the ROs that were on. Here we have a graph of the manganese for December 15th with a blend at 0%. Here we have the graph for arsenic with a ferric at 1.0 and the chlorine dioxide at 0.3. On this graph we have a graph comparing water production distribution for fiscal year 25 and 26. And see it in blue and red. On this graph we have comparing water plant production for the three plants for Bronzeville. And you can see SRWA contributed with 32.06% of Bronzeville's water demand. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
The bypass, that's where we were going to reintroduce the bypass and
Good afternoon, Mr. President, members of the board. I'll be presenting the authority's financial, the last column, which is fiscal year 26 year to date. Starting with number 1, operating revenue of member assessments with a total of $1,947,048, results in operating income of $344,693. Continuing with number 18, we add the net non-operating revenue, $868, with no capital contributions. That gives us number 21, change in net position of $388,008 at the end of December 2025 of $27,277,603. This is the budget actual summary of O&M expense.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Next, we have Guadalupe Granado. He's going to be representing the quarterly investment report.
Good afternoon, President, board members. My name is Lupe Renaldo. I'll go over the quarterly investment reports for the quarter ending December 31st, 2025. We have the investments officer certification on here. This report is prepared for the Southmost Regional Water Authority in accordance with Chapter 2256 of the Public Funds Investment Act, PFIA, Section 2256.023A of the PFIA states that no less than quarterly, the investment officer shall prepare and submit to the governing body of the entity written report of the investments transactions for all funds covered by this chapter for the preceding reporting period. This report, which covers the quarter ending December 31st, 2025, is signed by the investment officers and includes the disclosures required by PFIA. The investment portfolio complied with the PFIA and SRWA's approved investment policy and strategy throughout the quarter. All investment transactions made in the SRWA's portfolio during this quarter were made on behalf of the SRWA and were in full compliance with the PFIA and SRWA's approved investment policy. On the middle of the section of this presentation here, you have your asset class. You have 4 different asset class. The first one, we have bank deposits. Total market value on column C of $1,282,140. Percent of portfolio is 2.77%. Second item on here, you got certificate deposits, that's on column A. And column C, you have market value of $3,117,000. Percent of the portfolio on column E is 21.32%. Investment in pools on column A, market value on column C of $8,522,478.53. Percent of portfolio 58.3%. Market money market mutual funds, market value of $1,696,288.62. Percent of portfolio on column E 11.6%. Total of which gives a total value of $14,617,907.15 with a yield to maturity of 7.87%. On the second tab we have here is the breakdown. This is the details on it. On the bank depository Wells Fargo, we have two categories on here. Total market value of both categories, which are insured and collateralized, $1,282,140. Yield to maturity average 3.35%. Certificate of deposits, we have a total of 13 certificate deposits with yield to maturities ranging from 3.90% and 4.50%. Total market value of $3,117,000 with an average yield of 4.19%. Third one, you have investment pools on here. Total market value of the investment investment pools of $8,522,478.53. Total average yield for the is 3.86%. And last, we have money market mutual funds, a total of $1,696,288.62, 3.69. That gives a total investment of $14,617,907.15 with an average yield of 3.87%. That's in comparison. The benchmark that we use is a 3-month treasury bill. The 3-month treasury bill as of December 21st was 3.59. We're making a little bit better than the 3-month treasury bill, about a little bit less than 30 basis points. That concludes the presentation. The rest of the slides is basically informational graph of the same information. You have any questions?
I think that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we have the drought update from Janet Flores, and you should have on your desk the new updated performance. We're aware that sometimes the data comes in after one week, but this is the updated information.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, members of the board. My name is Janet Flores, Water Resources Administrator, and I'll be giving you the drought update. U.S. combined ownership at Amistad and Falcon reservoirs as of January 17, 2026 is 27.6%. You can see the previous three readings. January 3rd was 27.4%, January 10th was 27.5%, and January 17th was 27.6%. The National Weather Service February to April 2026 outlook for the Lower Rio Grande Valley Deep South Texas region. A warmer and leaning drier than normal outlook is anticipated through the February through April 2026 period. Cold fronts and dry air intrusions are expected to continue until March. Falcon International Reservoir will remain near historic seasonal lows at the end of January. As we continue through the dry season, confidence remains high, near certain, approximately 100%, on total reservoir storage remain just above record lows through April. As we transition into March, April, heavy rainfall and localized flooding has to be taken into consideration as the prospects for showers and thunderstorms could increase. That's my presentation. Any questions?
Now, I mean, you're missing a data point on your graph, I think, but still bad news.
Right. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And that wraps up that, and so we'll move on to item number 3, the presentation and discussion to address the unsolicited offer by Military Highway Water Supply Corporation to purchase an easement for water supply purposes on SRWA property, Cameron County property ID 140295, used for a well site. Paul?
Good afternoon. This is Paul Gonzalez. I'm the General Counsel and Chief Legal Officer for the Brownsville Public Utilities Board. And I'm here today to present the summation of where this issue has emerged. In September, we received a formal offer from the Military Highway Water Supply Corporation to purchase an easement along the frontage of well site number 6 property. It's about 10 acres, and we have, I'm here today with Jesse Alfaro. Jesse, he's our real estate manager at BPUB, and he's got additional images and such if the board would like that. But that offer was for a strip of land so that they could provide potable water across the frontage of the property, right along Grove Park Road, in order to serve another customer that was building on that property near ours. So that frontage was about, as the packet says, about 15 feet by 550 feet. It's a strip that we've worked through our local council, Juan Pequeño, with their outside counsel, Jose Luis Caso, to work up all the documentation to acceptable standards. These are the forms that we presented, and they prepared the proper exhibits so that this can proceed and they can serve their customer. Their initial offer in September was for $3,300. They backed it up with an appraisal that was presented a little bit later that had $2,764 as the fair market value for the easement. As is our process, we undertook an appraisal review, and there have been some legal expense in preparing the documents and reviewing things as we've come along. At this point, compensation had not been finally accepted by the SRWA board, and the options range from accept their September offer of $3,300, which recovers some of our costs, but not all of them. Set it at the fair market value set by their appraisal, or conclude negotiations with them to recover all of the costs that we've incurred, working with outside counsel and the external appraisal review cost. That's about $1,468 that would be requested. So, in the interest of serving the customer, this board may want to accept that initial offer and sort of move on. But that is something that we're presenting today. The packet included the easement that had been worked out, the drawings that accompany the easement, and we can go to executive session if the board wanted to receive legal advice on the transaction.
So, were any of these costs incurred due to kind of the delays in response by the other party? You know, there were many times where we went months without a reply from them.
Right. Some of the legal costs were because they know each other. They're meeting each other at the courtroom and on other matters, and they actually start talking instead of I reached out, didn't really have any success in getting a response back from the Water Supply Corporation or their representatives. We also have the issue of crossings. This is a retail service provider in just west of Rancho Viejo. We have our well field there, and we've discovered we have various crossings to deal with. Our easement deals with the crossing on that property, right? But we are looking forward to working with Military Highway to look at the details of all the other crossings in the area so that we can coordinate more closely in the future.
I mean, I kind of think we should go with their initial offer, and, they've been, through their own fault or through their own delays, waiting since September, but it seems like, I don't know what you all think.
I agree. If we don't do this, we're gonna go to condemnation of the property, then you're gonna lose money on it.
We're gonna just spend money on legal that doesn't need to be spent.
I think that I would like to go to closed session and discuss this.
Okay.
So any closed session would be under 551.071 to confer with an attorney. And I would also recommend 551.072 dealing with pending real estate transactions.
Okay, do I have to,
Make a motion.
Since this is the last item, it would be fair for you to follow your normal process to say that you would like to proceed to closed session on this item under sections 551.071 and 551.072 of the government code.
okay, so, I will entertain motions to go to closed session, under sections 551.071 and 551.072 to, talk about Star Trek and this with legal counsel.
I so move.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay.
guess that one need to go back.
There was a good one where, I forget, something about, the guy was driving a truck, and I forget what it was. Once you give it up, it was pretty. Okay.
Mr. President, time is now, check the universal Apple time, 12:38, and the quorum is reestablished here. We can resume the open meeting at your leisure.
Sounds good. Let's do that. And you have a motion to read for us?
Yes, sir. We remain on the topic of the presentation and discussion to address this unsolicited offer. Item number 3 on the agenda. No action was taken in executive session. And the staff would recommend that the board move to approve the easement to Military Highway Water Supply Corporation to include and recover SRWA's processing costs, including appraisal review and legal expenses, and authorize BPUB management to execute appropriate documents to effectuate this transaction.
Great.
So moved. Good accept.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes. And I think that wraps up our action items for today. So moving on to the discussion on date, time of next board meeting.
We have the next SRWA board meeting on Monday the 9th, and meeting on the 16th.
Okay. Any problems?
I have an announcement to make.
Oh, no.
This was my last meeting. I am going into retirement. Again. For the final time.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you for everything you've done. Wow.
I've enjoyed being there, I've enjoyed being a participant, and this good organization. It's well run. I can't say anymore, just glad what I have. It's good.
This was the last meeting. I wish I would have known sooner, and then we would have gotten you a little plaque and
No,
provided you,
no.
but thank
No,
you so
no,
much
no.
for the years of services that you've provided to SRWA. I know that it's time and dedication and time away from the family and time away from, we really do appreciate the contributions, for your,
Thank you.
Well, I'll be honest, this will stop the rumors on the board being too good looking, so. But thank you for everything you've done.
Appreciate that, thank you.
And with that sad note in place, I will entertain motion to close the meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye.